On Zoom, and today we are doing STEM and natural sciences, and our guest speaker today is Kathryn Myrsell from the Westport Aquarium. Kathryn, thank you for coming.
Thank
Felicia
you.
is now going to, also Kathryn has warned us that she might get accidentally dumped. If so, just please hang in there. She will try to reconnect. And Felicia has the same problem. So I am here.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere. My internet works. So anyway, we should go ahead and describe what our STEM and natural sciences career is.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know me, my name is Felicia. I'm the program coordinator for Grays Harbor Youth Works. And I want to say that the next 2 weeks is really about STEM. And what is STEM? Let me go ahead and share a screen with you here. And let me know if you can see this. Do you see this cool little infographic?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And these careers are critical. Science is everywhere in the world around us. Technology continuously expands in every aspect of our life. Engineering, that's roads, that's cars, that's buildings, that's everything that we use, from the smallest pen to the International Space Station and everything in between. And then math, well, you can't live in the world without math. Math is everywhere. It's in every occupation. Even if you want to make some top ramen, you need to know math. You may not like math, but you have to have it in order to survive.
The perfect example.
Exactly. Because, technology and science, well, we discover new things every day. Technology leaps every day. I mean, technology, I think the last time I saw a statistic about the growth of technology, it's something that technology doubles every year. And then it's in a way where eventually we'll have artificial intelligence. And eventually the technologies that we've created will be smart enough to create and run themselves. And so these areas, STEM, is really critical to our economy. And as you can see, because of these discoveries and innovations, the job growth is incredible. 17% projected job growth in STEM. I think this is for 2019. This infographic is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. STEM is the fastest growing career field. And you can see computer occupations here. That's growing. Engineers, STEM related management, people who manage science or technology projects. Life science, which we have Kathryn here. She's a part of the life sciences in the STEM sector. And so this is STEM, and it's really comprehensive. I want to just show one more example of how comprehensive the STEM field is. Where is that screen? So here, this is a pretty cool site. This lists all the career clusters possible. And this is just STEM. So you have all of these jobs in engineering and technology, right? And you could just click on one of these and each one will have like 10 more jobs. Science and mathematics has all of these. Anthropologists, astronomers, we're talking with Kathryn today, biological scientists, environmental economists, and it keeps going. Science and mathematics also includes economists and political scientists as well. So that is STEM. STEM is fast growing because it's everywhere. We use it even when we don't think we're using it, we probably are. And it's not, I just want to say this to our interns and students. I always wanted to be a marine biologist. I love biology. I just loved it. I'm a huge fan. Growing up in the Puget Sound area, I just became a huge fan of our beautiful, beautiful waterways and aqua ecosystems here. My favorite place in Seattle are two places. the Seattle Science Center and the Seattle Aquarium. Those are my two favorite Seattle places, and I love those places growing up. I didn't go into marine biology because I thought I had to be somebody else, right? I thought I had to be kind of a nerd, and there wasn't a lot of women that I saw in marine biology, so I just assumed it was a career path that wasn't for me, that like wasn't for someone who looks like me or who is me. And now we're realizing, no, you know, STEM, you can do STEM, women or man, person of color. STEM is important for everyone, especially if you are someone like me. You know, we want to have more diversity in STEM because all of us have a different way of looking at the world. And that different way is what propels discovery and what pushes innovation and what makes companies and people profitable. So that's my 2 cents on STEM. Woo! Thanks so much.
All right, great job. And now, Kathryn, we're going to give you a moment, but I would like to properly introduce you to our attendees today.
Thank you.
So welcome, Kathryn Myrsell, owner, operator, CEO, aquatic engineer of the Westport Aquarium. I titled you. Kathryn is very compassionate about what she does in her career, especially education for the youth. Kathryn Myrsell grew up in California near a beach that was called Half Moon Bay, amazingly the same name as beach by the Bay of Westport. She currently lives next to. She attended Cal State in Los Angeles. She took many classes in all kinds of science: geology, astronomy, physics, chemistry, microbiology, and oceanography. She was a professional college student due to all of her interests, and after 7 years, she graduated with a degree in liberal studies, or should that be sciences? During her college years, she ran a library for 1,000 elementary students in East LA. After college graduation, she wanted to combine education with her love of science. She taught physical science at Marshall High School in Los Angeles. After that, she went to cave restoration at the Carlsbad Caverns National Park, and that's where she met her now husband. Their common interests are the beaches, the ocean, and had a love for aquariums. There's a lot more details here, but for time constraints, I really enjoyed reading everything. And another passion they have is restoring old buildings. One event led to another one, and they discovered the Westport Aquarium for their kids and found it was for sale and bought it. Now they are able to do their passions with the complete family and be in their loved careers. Kathryn and her family, plus the community, have been running the Westport Aquarium for 11 years now. They have done whale, I always have that problem with that stupid word. Kathryn, what is it?
Necropsy.
Thank you. And modern marine manuals on the beach with the Marine Mammal Stranding Network, a fish waste recycling program. Worked with many wonderful schools and learned a lot about taking care of fish and invertebrates of the Pacific Northwest. Kathryn has been a business host for Grace Harbor Youth Works, and our interns have learned so much and did an amazing job for her, and one was able to participate in those whale, what are we going to call them, last year. So again, thank you, Kathryn. We have a few moments to speak, and then we want to have time for our students to ask you some questions. So Felicia, go ahead and start.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you want me to start the slideshow, or did you?
That would be great. Yeah, and also you can hear me okay? Everybody can hear me okay? Is that right, or?
I can hear you good.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Can you see the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so where to start, right? This is a big subject, marine science. I was thinking of two things today just before the meeting. One is there are so many fields in marine science and related to aquarium work. National parks, state parks is a big favorite of mine. But, you know, my daughter is working in an animal sciences lab near WSU now. And there's just so many different varieties of jobs in this field. And I would really encourage you to either, I don't know if they want you to contact me directly, but certainly you could contact Felicia or Cheryl and tell them that you want to learn more about this job in this field, and I may know some people that you could get in contact with to learn more about it. One thing that Veronica, my daughter, did is she met somebody in the aquarium. They worked at a state lab in animal science, and they gave her an internship over the summer, and they literally took her to this lab near WSU and introduced her to the staff there, and they were like, we need you, you know, you're hired. Before, like months before she even got to college. So really the key is get to know people, get to know your subject, get to know what you love, read about it, do it. You know, I'm going to hopefully show you this little tiny seaweed tank, and I've learned a lot from it. You know, you can do backyard science. Just don't let anybody tell you you can't do it, okay? You can do it. Little tiny science goes a long way. All right, so let's get started.
All right.
All right, so they asked if I could tell about my educational background. I grew up in Menlo Park, California, literally just a few miles away from Stanford University. Growing up, I just thought everybody grew up that way. My neighborhood was a lower class neighborhood than some of the other neighborhoods at the time. But there were a lot of, I babysat for a woman who got her law degree, I mean, at Stanford, and her family homeschooled, and I mean, I was around some pretty neat stuff. So my first job was at the Stanford University with a doctor of endocrinology, and I did library research for him. It was perfect. I could, you know, work till midnight because the library was open late and go research articles. It was so fun. Go in the stacks, and I love library work, and I've done a lot of it. And I got to tell you, the more you can read, the more you can go to libraries, work in libraries, you're going to learn a lot about science. So then I moved to Los Angeles, and I got my degree at Cal State LA. It's at the time was a smaller college. All my professors were, I had smaller classes. All my professors were like doctorates, but I didn't have to sit in classes with 200 or 300 people. So it was a wonderful education. And I just took a ton of science. I actually had to get out, you know, and get a job because I just love learning all about stuff. I even learned about, you know, theater makeup. You know, I just was like, wow, look at all these cool classes. So, you know, do science. But if there's something weird that you like, go ahead and do it, because, you know, you never know which way life is going to lead you. I got my degree in liberal studies, which is not like a science degree, but I had so many science classes that it's like the equivalent of a minor in science. So they let me teach on an emergency credential high school in Los Angeles, in a really nice high school. And I'd probably still be there, but I met my husband. We both love caves, and we fell in love, and so I moved to Washington. So I'm still teaching though. Okay, so next slide. Then they want to talk about the career background, and I probably should speed up. So I'm just gonna say, you can see it there. Again, library work, I can't see enough for it, or just visit libraries, find everything. You can put books on hold and have them delivered to your library. There's stuff online right now. Get online, and, you know, if you don't have a library card, ask your mom or dad or aunt or uncle if you can borrow their library card. Just get on there and search everything you're interested in. There are online books on there. So I'm all about libraries, and I really enjoyed my experience in East LA working at the library. Then I taught high school science, as I've said. I did cave restoration work. Now, that is something, actually, Carlsbad is an inland sea, if you can believe it. It is really landlocked now, but way back, you know, millions of years, whatever, a lot of years ago, it was an inland sea. And actually, caves, you can actually see fossils from the shells in the cave. So you might think that caves aren't related to oceans. Actually, they are. And so, yeah, see, I got from caves to oceans. So, you know, you never know where life will lead you. It also taught me a lot about living museums. We learned about algae control. I still deal with that in my tanks, things like that. How to work with visitors. So we would talk to visitors at Carlsbad about our restoration work. And then this is a picture of me. We got married in the cave, 750 feet underground. And we bought the Westport Aquarium 11 years ago. And it's been a learning experience. Like I've never experienced before, and I love it. But every time it's different. Working with students, all my education experience has really paid off. Working with the public, cleaning tanks, pumps. Boy, I'm learning a lot about plumbing. You never know how things are going to relate. All right, next slide. This is a very special picture, I have to say. This boy here who's looking at one of our tanks is the son of a woman who graduated from Aberdeen High School. She worked with us for several years. She was an amazing, amazing worker with us. She is an amazing employee. And she was used to farming. So she was so good with the animals. Oh my goodness. I mean, I try to move a fish and it starts jumping and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know. But she just was gently able to just, I don't know, she just had it, you know. And so now she's doing other things, but I know she could get back into it at any moment. And this is her son. So it's really a special picture for me. It means that we can do this for generations. And so we run about 15 tanks. I don't know. I'm going to actually try to show you guys the aquarium. So I'd rather do that in a minute and answer your questions. But I think you can read this. Hopefully I covered that slide. We do work with the Marine Mammal Stranding Network. I'll talk about that for a minute. You also could do that. You go to a training usually in the spring. Diana Lamborn that works with Fish and Wildlife is really, really into teaching youth about marine mammals. She specializes in pinnipeds. She's very interested in seals and sea lions, and I equate her knowledge with my midwife. I mean, she is amazing. She just has this intuition that, you know, science is not just books, you know, you have to really feel it. And sometimes that might be just making a picture of what you're feeling about a certain scientific subject. And you're going to be amazed that if you take it in a different direction, how much more you're going to delve deeply into that subject. Growing up in the Bay Area, one of my favorite museums was the Exploratorium, and they really worked hard to make everything hands-on, everything art and science, and I'm all about that. So anyway, Diana Lamborn, she's a good person if you're interested in learning more about marine mammals. And Cascadia Research is another great group that we work with, and they work more with whales. But again, if you have a special interest, let us know. I want to give you all the resources I know to get you going, okay? All right, is there another slide? Or I think there is one more STEM or something, of course, which is super important. All right, so I kind of made a picture of STEM for me, what it means for me. I started with S for science and seaweed. I'm all about seaweed research right now. I did a Facebook Live about it last night, and if you go to our Westport Aquarium Facebook Live or Facebook page, you'll see a recording of it. Then T for technology. I'm all about wind power. And especially with our fishermen here, I'd like to see at least auxiliary sails with gasoline isn't expensive right now, but there is quite a bit of talk that we may run out. And even if we don't, it's not clean for our environment. So if we were to even put an auxiliary sail on, they still have a motor. And they're coming back home, and it's the end of the day. They're not in a rush. And let's say they, you know, and they're downwind. So they're not changing their course, but they could just put up that sail and catch the wind and use less gas. We've got to get more wind power. Wind is just there, you know, it's worth harnessing. For E, I put engineering. We do a lot of bone rearticulations. That's my daughter, Veronica. And she and some Acosta students and Mark rearticulated those 39-foot gray whale flippers that she's standing with. And then M is for math, and we use that for everything. I mean, it's for measuring salinity, for measuring pipes to fit, to get the tanks rigged, whatever. So, and we are also working with ESD 113 right now on early learning math, and to try to get math out there in all kinds of fun ways for you, for like really young kids. So, okay, I have a key for it, but I think, I don't know, are we running out of time? I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, we have a good half hour.
Okay, all right, we can go to the next slide.
I think we kind of covered this. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to go down to the aquarium, I'll try to pull up the phone. I'm going to try to leave the computer on and then go on the phone and then walk you downstairs. Last night I found out some areas that don't get good reception, so I'll try to avoid those. But if I cut out, I'll call you right back, okay? So is it okay if maybe you guys can, I don't know, either, well, it'll just take a second to get the phone loaded.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure we have a list. And Cheryl, are we getting everyone down for attendance? Okay, cool. So far, what do our interns and students think about STEM in general? And what do you guys think about the marine science? What Kathryn just told you about how caves are connected to oceans. What are some of your thoughts right for now? And you can also use the chat screen if you want.
I'd say very interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jim. You know, I also find it very interesting, especially how caves are connected to oceans. And it's just those little things about science and STEM in general that it really gets you thinking about holism, about systems, about how everything's interconnected. In fact, you know, when we talk about careers, we're talking about the 16 major career clusters. But as we discovered last week when we were talking about careers in human services, all careers somehow, in some ways, intersect. And that's for sure in STEM, in science, technology, engineering, math. There are a lot of positions that you find intersects. I think Kathryn had one of the best examples of that, and when she said that, wow, she's sure learning a lot about plumbing, you know, construction, architecture. Wouldn't think about plumbing and STEM, you know, but about it, it's like, yeah, there's a science,
technology,
engineering, math. Exactly. So maybe plumbing should actually be in STEM.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is really cool. So some of the students are chatting. JP says underwater caves have always.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another crossover. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what the largest underwater cave system is by any chance, and where it might be located in the world?
Well, that's the thing, you know, people always ask us, so how much of this cave is undiscovered? You know, when you think about that, it's like, wait a minute. How do we know? But some of the larger caves that people dive in are in Mexico. They're finding, there's a wonderful, if you like caves, go to the National Speleological Society. It isn't that much money for a membership yearly, or at least last I checked, but we have a lifetime membership. But you get a monthly newsletter that's absolutely fascinating. And one thing I love about caving, and there's a lot of cave diving stuff in there too, but one thing I just love about caving is that it is a science that was started by hobbyists. You know, a lot of sciences started by people who are pretty, you know, like righteous scientists, and they got their doctorate. But caving, a lot of it was started by people that just wanted to get out and go in a cave. So there's a lot of stuff in the, you know, in the actual cave magazine that's written, it's written more and more scientifically now, but there's still.
Uh-oh. It looks like we might have lost her. Yeah, you know, that's one thing I've learned about science. I actually study a lot about physics and astronomy just on my own. And my dad has a huge telescope, so we really are a part of all these citizen astronomer sites through NASA and JPL. It's really cool. But that's what I'm finding, is that a lot of scientists are just hobbyists, just like you guys. A lot of discoveries have happened just from citizens and just from young people who've discovered stars and all kinds of awesome things. So this is cool. We have Patty who's our youth person also from Pack Mountain, right? Or you're from WorkSource? I think Pack Mountain. All right.
Yes,
She says she lived in, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Depot Bay, Oregon, where there were caves, and there were lots of people who would go into at low tide. Wow.
Okay, we made it on the phone here. Sorry, my computer cut out.
Oh, that's fine. While you get sorted, I just want to go through some of these awesome chats. So that would be so cool to grow up where Patty did and to be able to check out the caves at low tide. Ellie says, I think STEM is a great way to show how much things other than science, even though it stands for the S, goes into marine biology and other science. Absolutely. And so when I think about STEM, I don't think about it as like there's 4 different areas. I think about STEM as just like this, a world that, like I said, is interconnects. It's almost like an ecosystem in its own way when it comes to innovation, especially. Brianna says, I think it's cool how you get to combine fun and science as a marine biologist. You know, I have found some really cool YouTube videos. So at the end of the session, I'm going to send all of you an email that will have links to information about STEM careers. But I've found some really cool marine biologist videos for you too. And marine biologists will show you what they do and what kind of fun they have and what work they have to do to find grants and all that. All right, Kathryn, are you ready to give us a tour? Oh, this is awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop talking.
So let's see. Can you guys all see my screen pretty well? I can't see you. I can't see what I'm showing you very well. I'm not sure how to, can you hear me okay?
I can see and hear you okay. I think everyone has an option to, if they look in the upper right hand corner of their Zoom screen, if you put on speaker view, you'll just see the person who's speaking. And so I'm speaking right now, so you should probably see me. If you hit that on the upper right hand corner speaker view. And then if you hit gallery view, it'll go back to everybody. So if you hit speaker view, you should be able to just see me. And then when I give it to Kathryn, you'll see just her.
I'm not seeing it on my phone. Let's see, hold on.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, as I slowly use Zoom more and more, I'm finding out, whoa, there's these cool views and backgrounds. Here, while Kathryn is working, are you ready?
Can you switch me by chance?
Do you want me to share screen? I wonder if I can share. I don't think I could share this Zoom screen, you know?
Okay.
Oh, wait, okay, can you guys see that? It should just be Kathryn.
No, you put a thing for gratitude.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I wonder if I hit, can you see me? Okay. I don't know. I'm still this little thing on there.
Oh, you'd have to move, turn your camera horizontal to make it look like a wide screen. Yeah, there you go.
See, that's a little better. Okay.
Yeah, we could see it better now. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I went through that too with the podcast.
Can you see that? I'll try to actually, maybe I'll start here. So this is the beginning of the skull. Do you see that? Do you guys see the whale skull there? Okay, so that's from the same 39-foot female skeleton. She washed up about 6 years ago. And we're working on putting her all together. And actually, once we get the okay to reopen from the state, we're going to invite people to come and help us put the vertebrae on. So I'm going to go into the aquarium and show you all the vertebrae that we need to add on. So this is actually, let's see if I can show you right. I have to figure out how to get like this little screen. But anyway, that's where it attaches. And this is the whole vertebrae. Can you guys see that? So it's humongous. So we need your help. So I can't wait till they let us out of lockdown here and we get to, well, wait, of course, till the state says okay, but you know, but we can't wait to have you come help us. So then we're gonna visit some fish. We're gonna see some sole and some sablefish, and they're all excited to meet you. So I'm gonna try my best to focus this phone, okay? Do you see that sablefish there? And Soul's gonna come up. Say hello. You guys all know, did you see that okay? Okay. Those Soul, I don't know if you guys know, but they actually can, they start out when they're babies and they swim upright like regular fish. And then in their lifetime, while they're still plankton, really tiny, they turn to their side and one eye moves over. And then they spend the rest of their life swimming sideways. So I'm gonna go show you another flatfish called the Starry Flounder, which is actually one of my super favorites. So hold on a sec. Now, when I get to I'm not gonna do too much in the back of the aquarium, but in case I cut out, I'll just call in again, and my apologies if that happens. But you gotta see the Starry Flounder. Okay, here we go. And there's also I think, petrale sole there as well. Easy today. Looking right out. Do you see those okay?
Can you pan to the tank again? Because I think the video kind of cut out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna try. Feel free to say something because I'm turning the phone around so I can't see you. If you can't see or you want to pan to the right or the left, just tell me, okay? All right, so you're probably going to see mostly the petrale sole and then the Starry Flounder down below.
Oh, where is he? Right there. Oh, that him. He looks like a rock. He looks like a rock with eyes. Oh.
Okay. Do you see it? Yeah or no? Or yeah? Okay, good. I'm going to go outside and show you my seaweed tank really quick.
All right, as Kathryn's walking to the seaweed tank, I just ask that everyone keeps themselves on mute because, you know, if you want to see Kathryn, you have to have it in speaker view. And if you speak, it's going to show you to everybody. So just keep yourself on mute. Thank you.
You guys are so great you at all. You can see something. But anyway, this is the seaweed tank, little humble 2-foot tank with another 13. There's some
Does everyone still see Kathryn? Okay, I think we might have lost her. So let me see if I can text her and tell her we can't see her.
Marina. So now I'm gonna go try to show you a few more fish. Sorry, I couldn't see a thing, so I hope you guys can, I guess my eyes weren't adjusting or whatever. So I hope you guys can see that.
Alicia, did we bring the seaweed tank? Because we couldn't see anything. She froze in time.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you want to see it again or?
Can we see it again? Because I just got you, I just heard Pat just now, so.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, it's technology.
And it seems like there's a bit of a signal problem too. So really quick, I'm gonna try to go outside here. Okay. You guys,
It's really odd that when she goes outside, we lose her signal. Right?
Yeah, it looks like we are
Yeah, it is.
getting latency.
Signal again. Okay. Let's look at a few more fish, maybe. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And I just want to let our audience know that a lot of us live out beyond the structure, and you don't even want to know my battle with T-Mobile. It's been like 5 years, and you know, it's we're.
Yeah.
So just bear with us.
Reception out here, and believe me, I pay a lot of money to Comcast, so it's not that. It's just that, you know, we're out here and there isn't as much signal. So another thing for technology there. Oh, here comes Tony, one of my favorite fish. I'm just gonna put the phone up to the thing and hopefully you guys can see him. Say hi, Tony. Did you guys see Tony? Did you see Tony okay? Okay, so Tony is a tiger rockfish, and he, you know, one thing people are at, most of our fish are kind of brown. We live in nutrient-rich water with a lot of seaweeds and plankton in the water. It's very different from tropical water. So, so we're not used to seeing bright orange fish, but one thing, and I highly recommend this site, go to Monterey Bay Aquarium's website, but go to the education curriculum part, and it'll be instructions for whole classrooms, but don't be daunted by that. They have some amazing labs to do at home. And one of them is where you actually make a seaweed pump. And honestly, if you guys want to make a seaweed pump and we could try it on our seaweed tank this summer or whenever we're allowed to, you know, get together in person again, that would be amazing. And they give you some hints about how to do it. So there we go, technology and science and marine science again. There's also a great lab about deep sea, I'll turn around, so maybe you'll see the fish one talking. But anyway, there's a great thing about deep sea glasses in there and how we see colors differently as we get deeper in the ocean. So one thing that's really interesting is when you get really deep in the ocean, the red color fades out. So Tony is kind of a loner fish. He doesn't live with a school of fish. And he is red, I think, because that makes him disappear, believe it or not, in the deep ocean, which is really wild to think about because he's bright orange right here. So he's a pretty social fish. We also have Dora, our wolf eel, and here's her tail. She's hiding right now, but I'll show you her tail. Do you guys see that? Do you see her tail okay? Okay. And then I'm going to take you over to the touch tank. I hope I can keep the signal here. I'm going to show you a bright, well, it's not that bright. Actually, it needs more sun and plankton, and we're thinking about moving some of our anemones outside now that we have a full sunlight tank, and they probably should turn greener because they actually can help photosynthesize the algae. And that's why they turn so bright green. But then when they've been in the aquarium for a while, they turn less green. So these guys we've had for a long time. But these are giant green anemones. So I'm going to show you those. Did you guys see those okay? Yeah, okay. And one thing that people always wonder about is, why do our starfish like to do back bends? Well, there's one thing you'll see in any aquarium that they often do this, and we don't always know everything. That's another thing we can learn about. But some ideas are maybe they get some oxygen off the top of the water, or they're just feeling to see what's there. You know, where are their boundaries? So anyway, I'm going to show you a couple starfish doing some back bends. These are leather stars and Pacific ochre stars. You might see this little foot moving. You have hundreds of tiny 2 feet. Here's another one. You can see maybe its little sensor feet on the very edge there. And this is the Pacific ochre star. Hope you guys can see that. And another leather star from the top. Did you guys see that okay? Do you see the starfish okay? Okay, great. So starfish also, their stomachs are underneath in their center. They're like a clear sac, and they can actually take that sac out, digest their food, and pull it back inside. And all those tiny feet help it not bang around in the surf. They can hold tight to the rocks, but it also helps because they can pull shellfish apart and eat what's inside. So they can pull apart mussels and oysters and all kinds of shellfish. And they will even grab a crab if they get the chance. They'll even eat a fish if the fish is not doing well. They can grab the fish too, but usually the fish will kind of kick them out of the way. One thing that's kind of interesting is that occasionally I'll see a starfish kind of patting my fish, and I start getting nervous. I'm like, do I need to move that starfish out of the way? I wonder, you know, it's good to wonder things, and I wonder if maybe starfish are just cleaning those fish a little bit. When I was volunteering at Seattle Aquarium, I noticed that, or they taught me about cleaning wrasses. And they showed in a tropical tank where fish would actually line up to be cleaned by the cleaning wrasses. The cleaning wrasse fish would eat little things off of the fish to clean them. So fish do work cooperatively. Okay, really quick, I'm gonna try to, or do you need to go or ask or answer questions?
We don't have to go, but we do have some people leaving at 2, and we do have a question. This one's from Cheryl. How old is the aquarium, and are the fish that you have in our area ocean?
Okay, good question. So the aquarium is 63 years old. Yeah, and this year it will be going on, I believe, 64 years. And the thing that's special about this aquarium is it's been continuously running, pretty much. So unlike other aquariums that started out in different buildings, these are still some of the same tanks from 63 years ago. So it's
another question we have is from Ellie. She asks, what's your favorite type of marine animal? That's a great question. I was going to ask that too.
I have so many favorites. It's hard to pick, but one of my favorites is the Starry Flounder. I love its stripes. I love it gets to be 4 feet, so it gets really big. I love its personality. It feels really outgoing. They're always wiggling, and they were kind of tired today, but usually they're wiggling and talking to us. And I love how adaptable it is. We think of salmon as adaptable, but salmon have to be in saltwater or freshwater at a certain point in their life. But Starry Flounder, I read somewhere they saw one in Vancouver Lake. So so they can live in, and we have problems with freshwater fluctuation here because we pull our water from the marina 24 hours a day, which is fed by local estuaries. So when the rains come in, then come down from the mountain, we get a lot of fresh water. And the Starry Flounder have no trouble whatsoever adapting. So that's one of my favorites, but I have many. I could stay all day just talking about my favorites.
That's wonderful. Did you want to try to show us one more fish?
Sure, I'll see if I can. Let's see here.
Cool.
I just got out of the aquarium to get more in the light. Oh, how about the cabezon? One of the problems is some of the tanks are a little dark, and so with the and then also there's a certain part of the aquarium I realized has bad reception, so I don't want to take you there and lose the phone reception again. So hopefully when we get the okay to open again, you all can come down and see the whole aquarium. And if you mention this interview, you know, I will definitely let you in for free. So yeah, definitely, because yeah, if you're a student, we already give student discounts, so be sure to take advantage of that. But yeah, we'll give some free admissions for we still need to keep running, but yeah, I think we can let people in. Here's the cabezon. You guys see that? Cabezons are very cool fish also. They don't have a swim bladder. They don't have an air bubble in their stomach. So when they want to swim, they have to do strokes like we do. So yeah, and they get excited and they will swim wildly like that, and they can be very fast when they want to be, and they have kind of like a super fast jaw too. So you would be amazed. Like perch are really fast, but if a perch swims by and it thinks that the sculpin is sleeping, and it often does just meditate and stay completely still for a really long time, then it just snap its jaws really quick and eat a really fast fish, which is kind of amazing.
Now
Yeah.
that is really cool. And so they like perch, and what else do they like to feed off of?
I wouldn't say perch is like their normal food, I don't think, but they'll eat all kinds of things. Yeah. You know, honestly, I don't know what, that's a good question. I should know what they eat in the wild.
Well, I would like to open this up to some of our interns and students. What questions do you have for us and for Kathryn? And this has been amazing. It's been amazing to see the kill and all the different fishes.
I wanted to say, I think we should have another meeting maybe in the far off future when everybody has time, and meet with the Grays Harbor Youth Works intern from last year at the aquarium. Maybe Veronica is going to WSU, and some other students or young people that are in marine biology. Maybe have a panel of them to talk to. I think that would be great. Okay, yeah, questions. I'm excited.
Well, I was going to ask you what is one of your favorite ocean features? There's all these like great features of the ocean, and what would one of your favorite ones be?
I love the intertidal zone and the yeah, and the tide pools. That's probably one of my favorites. And that's where the seaweed lives. So, you know, it actually goes all the way down to 200 feet that a lot of the seaweed still lives. But yeah, but that's probably one of my favorite areas. But honestly, I think if I had more chance, I've not been out to the outer coast as much, but I wish that I could, and I hope I will in the future. And I think that will also be, it's all a favorite because I can't wait to see a sunfish out in the ocean. Have you guys all seen sunfish? If you haven't, Google it. They are gigantic. Some of them, I guess, are as big as cars. They have a fin on top and a fin on bottom. And it's kind of hard for aquariums to keep them. They need a huge turn radius, a huge depth, and they can get so large and they're hard to feed. They eat jellyfish too, by the way.
Oh my gosh, we're getting a lot of great questions here. This is awesome. This one is from Ellie. What type of tools do you use in the aquarium to take care of the fish?
We use a lot of, we try to, here we go to lint picking again. We actually cleaned lint out of the cave, believe it or not, because it will cover the formations and cause an acidic reaction. And so I learned to just use all kinds of tools that you can just get at the hardware store to clean tanks. Stuff like those sponges with the scrubby side and, you know, like the green and yellow sponges that you might use in your kitchen to clean tanks. They do sell really fancy vacuuming equipment for tanks, and we don't use it. We actually just use a siphon with a long clear hose. And then we feed fish, and we use a grabber sometimes to spot feed, because if you have a community tank, some fish will be more aggressive and you want to make sure that everybody gets fed. So we use a grabber to make sure that the fish gets fed that's maybe a little more timid.
Our partner over at ESD 113, Pat, asks, have you been underwater, as in scuba or snorkeling?
I have not been underwater as much as I would like, but I do love to boogie board and surf. I'm not good at surfing, but I love to boogie board. So that's probably my biggest experience. I love seeing the pelicans will like go, you know, right by me between waves. So I love that. I've had harbor seals stand up and look at me from 200 feet away, you know? And so boogie boarding is a great way to get out there and see the ocean and not, you know, and not have a motor running. I think that's important, you know. Sometimes we need a motor to get a ways in the ocean, but if you can turn that motor off and just experience the water without the motor running, you'll be amazed who might come and visit you.
That's so wonderful. I like the idea of water sports as a way of connecting, you know, to our ecosystems and marine friends. It's awesome. Yeah. This question's from Brianna. What happens if one of the fish gets sick? How do you handle those situations? It's a good question.
That's a good question. We need more fish vets. Oregon State University has an amazing fish vet program. There's an amazing fish vet there. I highly recommend, if you want to be a fish vet, you go there. They are also opening a wonderful program recently, I guess, for art and science. So if you love art, you can do art and science together. They're actually going out on boats and exploring the ocean together, artists and scientists together. So I would highly recommend that, but we don't have a lot of fish vets. There is a vet in Seattle Aquarium, and she is so busy. She pretty much is responsible for everywhere, all the way down to Oregon State. So we can contact her, but she doesn't have a lot of time and it's really hard. So like we had a lingcod that laid eggs, you know, and we don't think they were fertilized. But at first we really wanted to learn more about it and what we could maybe do. We're still learning about raising fish in captivity, and lingcod is one of the harder ones. And so we didn't have anyone to contact at first. Then after a lot of work, we did find someone. So sometimes when a fish is sick, you know, there isn't a lot we can do. We try to make the fish comfortable. We really watch it. That is, you know, and maybe we would move it to a different tank. We have vaccines and quarantine tanks. But one thing I've learned that's super important, when I first got here, I would panic. I would like start turning the water over. I'd turn off, like if the power would go out, I'd turn on all the lights and like start doing everything to oxygenate the water. And I learned that the more I did that, the more upset the fish would become. And I was actually making them more sick by freaking them out. So now, like if the power goes off at 3 in the morning, it's really hard. I have to remember my midwife's advice about, you know, trying to sleep rich. At least try to lie down, relax, take deep breaths. And I actually let the fish sleep for a few hours before I go in there and do anything. And then hopefully the power comes back on, and sometimes it does. If it doesn't, once the sun comes up and they're naturally awake, if it hasn't been too long since the power went out, then I'll start working on it. But, and they know too, like they're so used to 24 hours a day hearing the water circulating. When it's quiet, it freaks them out too. I can tell by the looks on their faces. I watch my fish a lot. I think I can tell how they feel.
Wow, these are great questions. But how about this one? Cheryl asked, do you still have the ducks in the back as part of the aquarium?
You want to see the ducks? I can take you to see the ducks. You guys want to see the ducks? Okay, you can give me another question if you want. I'll try to answer it and we'll go see the ducks.
Yeah, the other question is, this one is from my mom and 2 nephews in Renton. What is the largest fish at your aquarium?
Oh, the lingcod. Right now, the lingcod. Let me see if she'll come out for you. She's kind of, I hope, oh, here she is, look. Can you guys see it? Can you see her? Yeah, super cool. Boy, is she tough though. Those lingcods. All right, Cinnamon's waiting for you on the railing. I'm gonna turn it around here. Cinnamon, say hi. Cinnamon is part Muscovy, so she can fly, and that's the reason she can greet you up on the railing there. And then there's Moon, and Moon is our oldest duck. We've had her for probably 12, maybe 13 years. And the other one, Moon, is a mix. So I think I lost, hopefully. Do you guys see the ducks okay?
Yeah, perfectly. That's awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get better at this technology. It's still really new to me, so I do apologize if, but it looks like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. I'll admit it.
Well, I think we're about ready to wrap it up anyways. And I mean, this has been an incredible experience, Kathryn. What better way to learn about these careers and get a tour, while staying at home. I mean, this is just totally mind-blowing, innovative. It's fabulous. And we really appreciate you showing us the aquarium. I mean, we really, truly do. Oh, Cheryl says this. We will have an intern with her next time, just in case anyone is interested. And I know Brianna, she's our intern who's like in the animal sciences. She wants to be a veterinarian. That could include an internship at the aquarium here. And then our intern who works with us right now, Ellie, she's actually interested in the marine biology pathway. That's like her number one. And so perhaps when we can get outside again, we could get you into an internship with the Westport Aquarium. That would be so cool. That'd be cool. My mom in Renton says, thank you. We can't wait to visit the aquarium.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
Kathryn, I want to thank you once again for all your time.